Hello everyone, welcome to our channel and our coverage of the candidates tournament. Today we are recapping round 3 and the game between Praggnanandhaa and Sindarov. Praggnanandhaa started with d4 and Sindarov responded with d5, so we have the Queen's Gambit on the board. Here Pragg played bishop f4, which is a very popular alternative to the main line bishop g5. Okay, so bishop f4, castle and e3. And now, since the bishop is not on g5, black can't play c5. This kind of an advancement is not possible when white bishop is on g5. And a3. This is a very useful move to prevent bishop b4 pin or knight c4, knight c6, knight b4. Also in some lines, as we will see, white will try to expand on the queen side. So bishop g5, stepping away from e5, d4. That was the idea of black. White king is still in the center, so this can be an issue. But anyway, black plays d4. His idea is to try to open up the center while white king is uncastled. This operation is completed with a double attack on queen and bishop, so now white will attempt to regain the pair of bishops. Here he played b4. He wants to push back the bishop and then capture on d4. But black has a really interesting alternative. He sacrificed a piece for 2 pawns. But black will have sufficient compensation because the king will remain the center and subject of an attack. So white played king d1. During the live commentary, we thought maybe that king e2 is interesting. And now, for example, what can black do if he plays something neutral, like, I don't know, e5, it doesn't matter. There is a very strong move g4. And now, if queen g4, you have either rook g1 or knight f6. This triple attack you have to take, and now we have this pin along the g file. So in order to avoid that, black can play e5, and now g4 is no longer working because now you don't have to take, you can just step back like this. Okay. But instead of king e2, white played king d1. And now black has to find a way how to continue his attack. He can play rook d8, he can take on e3, he can try e5, and maybe even it was suggested to play b5. Actually, rook d8 is not possible yet because white will take the pawn, but e5 is a solid alternative. Instead, he took the pawn, which is actually the most logical move, and now white did not recapture the pawn. He tried to use this tempi to set up the battery along the diagonal to break the pin against his knight and to try to endanger black queen. But black didn't really blink. He just stepped back with his queen to g6. He remained on the same diagonal. He's not afraid of it, and he's preparing to push. He's clearing the way to push f5 and e5, e4, and so on. So this is now a direct threat. If you take on e3, there is f5. This actually happened in the game, and knight g3. And now we were thinking, queen f6 with idea to play g6, protect this pawn, and then push e5. Okay, it takes some time, but white really doesn't have any active possibilities. Besides this move wins tempi against rook a1, so you have to think about it. But in the game, black played bishop c5, so he attacked the pawn on e3. It's also a good move. So now white played queen c3. We were really surprised by this. We were expecting rook e1, like a solid move, or more adventurous e4 to try to force open this diagonal. But white played this tame move, queen c3. We did not really like it that much during the commentary, and it allowed e5. So you cannot take on e5 with a knight, unfortunately, even if the knight is protected, because now you will be caught in this nasty pin. And again, queen is caught against the knight. Here you will lose this extra piece and just remain 2 pawns down with the king stuck in the center. So this will be lost position. So since you cannot take the pawn on e5, what he did, he retreated the bishop because the threat was this fork against the 2 pieces. So he retreated the bishop, and black anyway plays e4. White plays knight d2. And black plays rook d8. He immediately sets the pin along the d file. He activates the rook. It's a very good move. But white decides to step away from the pin and not risk anything. And now a nice move, queen g5. So he's winning a tempi by attacking this pawn. White defends it. And now steps back with the queen to e7, which has a very nasty threat of playing bishop b4, and now this knight would fall. So for this reason, white plays rook e2. He's protecting the knight, but bishop b4 anyway, improving the bishop, and queen b2. But now instead of just exchanging everything on d2, why would you do that? If you have a pressure, you sacrifice the piece for attack, so you have to try to keep that attack and not just exchange pieces. So he played a5, which is a really great move, protecting the bishop and freeing the queen to improve its position and join the attack. Another function of the move a5 was to introduce the rook along the 6th rank. So rook will now become very, very, very active. So white takes his time to attack the f5 pawn, but black will protect it with the queen. Again, there are some possible ideas of rook d6, rook d4, and taking advantage of this pin. So for this reason, white plays king b1, and now h5. This fine move is taking the opportunity to push back knight g3 because he doesn't have any good squares to jump on. So after king a2 and h4, knight has to retreat to f1. It's far from ideal square for the knight. And now finally bishop d7, the last black piece, enters the play. He has a really nice idea now that the rook is covering the 6th rank, and this square will be covered by the rook. So the bishop is free to leave this diagonal and to transfer itself like this, and to eye the white king. The white king did quite of a walk during this game. So from e1 he did it like this, but all the time he remained under the attack of enemy pieces, particularly under the bishop and rook, and now the other bishop also wants to pin it. It's really unfortunate for the white king. Now that the bishop is moved, rook can take this c file and press c4. You cannot really take it like this, because you will be caught in the contrapin. So for this reason, he plays rook b6 just to threaten some nasty business on the b file. Here it was 8 moves before the time control, and the two players had 4 minutes each. There is no increment, so they had to complete 8 moves in 4 minutes. And this is where Pragg made a mistake. Instead of playing something like rook b1, not just to cover this, to counter on this file, he played c5. He probably tried to clear this diagonal for one of his pieces, to give a check and to clear this square to activate the knight, but it was a hasty decision and it didn't really turn out well, because as we'll see, black has a beautiful tactical possibility on his arsenal. Now after this check, king h8, and he was thinking after queen f7, attacking this bishop, that he will get some time to play bishop b3 and set up this battery, or maybe, I don't know, activate the knight or something like that. But there is no time for that, because black is playing a move with 2 exclamation marks, rook c2. Beautiful deflection of this knight, because if you take the rook, there is bishop e6. Rook is protecting the bishop. So thanks to this beautiful tactic that Sindarov spotted immediately and played, he was able to win back the piece, and now after king b1 he actually won another piece. And only a few moves ago he was a piece down, and now already he is a piece up. There's still a couple of moves left before the time control, so Pragg tried to do something, but after queen d4 and queen f6, they reached the time control, and Pragg resigned because he's 4 pawns down in descending. There is nothing to hope for, and he lost the game. Sindarov is now on 2.5 points from 3 games, the same as Fabiano Caruana, and it will be interesting to follow what will happen in the future rounds. So thank you all for watching, and stay tuned to our channel for the future rounds, which we will also analyze the best games here. Thank you. Bye bye.